Divorce is usually the result of serious problems, like cheating, lying, or financial betrayal. But what if I told you that some marriages collapse over the pettiest, dumbest, most ridiculous reasons you can imagine? From fighting over how to load the dishwasher, to breaking up because of pineapple pizza, today we're exploring 61 dumbest things couples did that led to divorce. Stick with me until the end, because number 61 is so absurd you won't believe it actually happened. And hey, if you love insane real-life stories, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs a laugh. Alright, let's dive into the madness. 1. The Great Thermostat War. For years, this couple's home was a battleground of temperatures. She wanted it warm and cozy, like a tropical beach. He wanted it cold enough to store frozen fish. Instead of meeting halfway with, say, a sweater or a blanket, they fought every single day, turning the thermostat up and down like a tug-of-war. The electric bill skyrocketed, the arguments never stopped, and eventually the thermostat won. They divorced, leaving the house perfectly climate-controlled for the next unlucky owner. 2. The toothpaste tube tragedy. You'd think something as small as toothpaste wouldn't matter, but for this couple, it was everything. She neatly pressed the tube from the bottom, like a civilized human. He grabbed and squeezed from the middle like a caveman. Every morning started with accusations. Why can't you just do it the right way? After years of foamy frustration, they called it quits. Ironically, they probably spent more money on lawyers than they ever did on toothpaste. 3. Netflix infidelity. Forget cheating with another person. This marriage ended because of TV betrayal. They had a pact to watch their favorite shows together. But one partner couldn't resist hitting next episode while the other was at work. When the secret came out, seasons ahead, all spoiled, it was treated like actual infidelity. Papers were signed, custody of the Netflix password disputed, and the marriage was officially canceled. 4. Toilet seat tensions. It sounds cliché, but one husband never put the toilet seat down. Ever. After years of midnight bathroom trips ending in cold surprises, the wife had had enough. The seat wasn't just plastic anymore, it became a symbol of disrespect. The final straw? She fell in one night, screamed, and filed for divorce the next day. 5. Pineapple pizza betrayal. This couple seemed solid until pizza night revealed their dark secret. One loved pineapple on pizza, the other thought it was a crime against nature. Instead of laughing it off or just ordering half and half, they fought every Friday like gladiators in a delivery box arena. Eventually, pizza night turned into divorce night. Domino's should have sponsored the settlement. 6. The oversharing spouse. Every couple fights, but not every couple has those fights broadcast on Facebook. One husband posted everything. My wife is mad at me again. We argued about the dishes. Guess who's sleeping on the couch? It became less of a marriage and more of a public reality show. His wife had enough of living with a man who thought Instagram was a therapist and filed for divorce. 7. The silent treatment marathon. Some people cool off with silence. This couple turned it into an Olympic sport. After one small argument, they both refused to speak, waiting for the other to break first. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. They basically lived like two strangers renting the same space. Eventually, the silence spoke louder than words. They filed for divorce without ever actually discussing it. 8. Cat versus dog showdown. He wanted a big, loyal dog. She wanted a graceful, independent cat. Instead of getting both or adopting a goldfish, they dug in their heels. Every trip to the shelter ended in a fight. Eventually, they stopped looking for pets and started looking for divorce lawyers. Ironically, they both ended up single pet parents, him with a husky, her with 3 cats. 9. Wedding photo disaster. For one bride, Her wedding photos were everything. She dreamed of a picture-perfect album to show off forever. But the groom had one problem. In every single picture, he blinked. She called it ruining her memories. He shrugged it off as natural. But the bride couldn't forgive a lifetime of closed eyes, and eventually their marriage went the same way. Shut. 10. Too much gaming. Video games are fun until you forget you're married. This husband spent so many nights playing Call of Duty that his wife joked she was a Call of Widow. He promised he'd cut back, but instead he leveled up in gaming and leveled down in marriage. Eventually, she packed her bags, leaving him alone with his Xbox and Mountain Dew collection. 11. The wrong coffee order. You'd think after years together, a husband would know his wife's coffee order. But nope, every single morning he came home with the wrong one. Wrong milk, wrong flavor, wrong size. She said, "I like caramel latte with oat milk." He'd return with black coffee and say, "It's close enough." After years of feeling unseen in her caffeine needs, she finally snapped. "If you don't know my coffee, you don't know me." Divorce brewed faster than the espresso machine. 12. Snoring that shook the house. This husband didn't just snore. He sounded like a freight train colliding with a chainsaw. His wife recorded it once, and it went viral because nobody believed a human could make those noises. Earplugs didn't work. White noise machines didn't work. Even sleeping in different rooms didn't save the marriage. Eventually, she said, "I either need sleep or a divorce lawyer." She chose sleep. 13. Bathroom door battles. Some couples are private, others too comfortable. In this marriage, one spouse believed the bathroom should always be treated as a sacred, private space. The other thought nothing of leaving the door wide open, even during the most explosive moments. Over time, the lack of mystery became unbearable. Their love story literally ended on the toilet. 14. Holiday showdown. Christmas lover versus Grinch. Every December, she decorated the house like Santa's workshop. Lights everywhere, blow up reindeer on the lawn, music blasting. Her husband, however, hated Christmas and called it a tacky waste of money. Each year, the arguments grew louder until finally she told him, "If you can't stand Christmas, you can't stand me." He packed his bags on Christmas Eve. Ho ho! No more marriage! 15. The forgotten anniversary. Repeatedly, forgetting one anniversary is forgivable. Forgetting two raises suspicion. But forgetting 5 in a row? That's almost impressive. Every year, the husband swore he'd remember. Every year, he failed. One year, he even confused their anniversary with his brother's birthday. That was the final straw. She didn't want to be married to a man who couldn't even remember the day he married her. 16. Shopping addiction meltdown. At first, her love for shopping was cute. She always looked stylish, always had new shoes. But soon, the credit card bills started stacking like skyscrapers. When the husband discovered she had secret credit cards with thousands of dollars of debt, it wasn't just shoes on the line, it was their financial future. He filed for divorce and left her with a walk-in closet full of regret. 17. TikTok husband. This poor wife became unwilling content for her husband's TikTok channel. He filmed her cooking, sleeping, even brushing her teeth, then uploaded it with silly captions. She begged him to stop. He said, "But babe, we're going viral." When strangers on the internet knew more about her daily life than her own family, she packed up and went offline permanently by divorcing him. 18. The pillow and blanket war. Every night turned into a full-contact sport. He hogged the blanket. She grabbed it back. He stole all the pillows. She retaliated. Sometimes they woke up with no covers at all, shivering like enemies in battle. After years of sleep deprivation, they realized the marriage wasn't working. They filed for divorce, finally able to sleep peacefully in their own beds. 19. Celebrity crush jealousy. Everyone has a celebrity crush. But one wife took it too far. She constantly compared her husband to Jason Momoa, his hair, his muscles, his smile. She even had posters around the house. At one point, she joked, "If Jason Momoa ever walked in, I'd leave you in a second." The husband laughed, at first. But after years of living in Aquaman's shadow, he decided he didn't need to compete anymore. Divorce papers were served. 20. The dish disaster. One partner believed dishes should be washed immediately after meals. The other believed in the let them soak for 3 days until they grow their own ecosystem method. The kitchen turned into a war zone of flies, mold, and resentment. Eventually, the clean freak had enough. "I'm not living in a science experiment." Marriage ended, dishes unwashed. 21. Grammar police gone too far. Correcting someone once is helpful. Correcting them every single time they open their mouth is torture. This wife couldn't stop correcting her husband's grammar, even in public. Imagine pouring your heart out in an argument and hearing, "Actually, it's I was, not I were." He finally said, "I'd rather be wrong in English than wrong in marriage," and filed for divorce. 22. The directions disaster. Back before Google Maps, this couple's road trips were nightmare fuel. He refused to ask for directions because real men never get lost. She begged him to pull over and ask. He refused. They spent hours lost in the middle of nowhere, arguing in circles. After years of going nowhere, literally and figuratively, they went straight to divorce court. 23. Music taste madness. He loved heavy metal. She loved country. Every car ride became a screaming contest between guitars and banjos. They bought separate headphones, but that just made them more distant. Eventually, they admitted their Spotify playlists had more chemistry than they did. 24. The horoscope divorce. One wife became obsessed with astrology. She checked their star charts daily, planned their meals around moon phases, and constantly reminded him, "You're a Leo, so you're naturally selfish." When she discovered their zodiac signs weren't soulmates, she literally filed for divorce based on horoscopes. He told friends, "Apparently Mercury was in retrograde, and so was my marriage." 25. Baby name breakdown. Some couples argue over what to name their baby. This couple took it to extreme levels. He wanted traditional names, she wanted unique, Instagram-worthy ones. Imagine months of fights over names like George versus XAA12. Even after the baby was born, they couldn't agree. The child eventually got a name, but the parents ended up in divorce court, still arguing about it. 26. Selfie obsession. Her husband spent hours taking selfies, at the gym, at work, even in the bathroom. He treated their vacations like photo shoots. She begged for real conversations, but all she got was, "Hold on, let me get the angle right." She finally said, "You're more married to your front-facing camera than to me." Divorce was the final picture. 27. The in-law invasion. Some families are close, but this was extreme. His mother basically moved in. She criticized everything: the cooking, the cleaning, even how the bed was made. The wife finally snapped after hearing, "That's not how I raised my son." She told her husband, "You're married to me, not your mother." He disagreed. She divorced both of them. 28. Political war zone. One was conservative, the other liberal. Every dinner turned into a heated debate. Every election season was World War III. Friends stopped visiting because conversations always exploded. Finally, they realized they weren't partners, they were just opponents on different sides of the ballot. The divorce papers were the only thing they agreed on. 29. The overcooked spaghetti showdown. One spouse liked pasta al dente, firm and chewy. The other boiled it until it resembled baby food. At first, it was a small argument. But soon, Every dinner turned into a lecture. This isn't pasta, this is soup noodles. Meanwhile, the other snapped, I'm cooking for you, stop complaining. Years of sauce-stained arguments ended with both agreeing they couldn't share a plate or a life any longer. 30. The explosive sneezes. This husband sneezed like he was auditioning for a tornado siren. His wife couldn't take it anymore after countless dinners interrupted by deafening achoo blasts that rattled the windows. The final straw? He sneezed during her yoga class, scaring the instructor. She filed for divorce, saying, I can handle colds, but not natural disasters. 31. Hoarder versus minimalist. One spouse believed in, if it's not useful, throw it out. The other couldn't let go of anything, not magazines, not receipts, not even broken microwaves. Their house turned into a maze of clutter, while the minimalists dreamed of clean white walls. Eventually, the clutter buried not just their living room, but their relationship too. 32. Fitness fanatic fail. He became obsessed with the gym. Protein shakes, 6 workouts a day, mirror selfies, lectures about carbs. She just wanted pizza and Netflix. Every date night became a gym session. Every restaurant visit ended in calorie counting. Finally, she told him, I married you, not your abs. Divorce became her ultimate cheat meal. 33. Laundry folding fiasco. Some people fold towels into neat little squares. Others don't care. This wife really cared. Her husband folded wrong every single time. She refolded them, scolding him like a child. After years of towel wars, he got fed up. If towels matter more than I do, we're done. And they were. 34. Bathroom selfie madness. The wife hogged the bathroom every morning, turning it into a personal photo studio. Her husband missed work meetings waiting for her to finish posing. One day, he stormed in mid-photo and said, it's me or Instagram. Instagram won. 35. Fictional rival. This wife compared her husband to fictional TV characters. Why can't you be more like Mr. Darcy? Or why can't you fight like Jon Snow? He finally shouted, because I'm real. After years of losing to imaginary men, he tapped out with a divorce. 36. Fast food fights. Every Saturday night was fast food night. She always wanted McDonald's, he wanted KFC. Instead of compromising, they argued in drive-through lines like two hangry gladiators. The employees started recognizing their fights. Eventually, they realized if they couldn't agree on chicken versus burgers, they couldn't agree on marriage either. 37. The cat takeover. He agreed to one cat. She brought home another. Then another. Before long, their house had 8 cats, all sleeping on the bed, climbing the curtains, and ignoring him. He said, it's me or the cats. She chose the cats. They lived happily ever after, without him. 38. Remote control royalty. The TV remote became the crown jewel of this household. He wanted sports. She wanted reality shows. Every night turned into a wrestling match for the remote. They eventually bought a second TV, but by then, they were basically living separate lives. Divorce followed. 39. Different sleep worlds. One was a night owl who played video games until 3 a.m. The other was an early bird who woke up at 5 a.m. to jog. They saw each other only in passing, like roommates, not partners. The schedule gap widened until their marriage fell asleep permanently. 40. The wedding debt disaster. They wanted the perfect wedding and spent beyond their means: designer dress, fireworks, rented castle. By the time the honeymoon was over, so was the money. They spent the next years drowning in debt and regret. When creditors started calling more than friends, they divorced. 41. Cleaning product wars. She believed in organic, eco-friendly cleaners. He swore by bleach and chemicals. They argued every time the bathroom was scrubbed. Eventually, they realized they had less chemistry with each other than supplies did. 42. Social media jealousy. This wife got jealous every time her husband's posts got more likes than hers. She accused him of trying to be an influencer. He got tired of defending his selfies. When she created fake accounts to downvote his posts, he filed for divorce. 43. Hobby gone wild. The husband loved model trains. Loved them so much that he filled the garage, the living room, even the kitchen with tracks. She begged him to stop, but he said, "Trains are my passion." She finally replied, "Then let them take you away." And they did, straight to divorce court. 44. Dish duty disaster. Neither wanted to do the dishes. Each assumed the other would. Soon, mountains of dirty plates towered like monuments to laziness. When bugs invaded the kitchen, they realized they couldn't survive marriage or their own kitchen. 45. School pickup fail. The husband repeatedly forgot to pick up their child from school. One rainy day, their child stood waiting for hours, soaked. The wife said, "If you can't even remember our child, how can I trust you as a husband?" The marriage ended that night. 46. Espresso versus espresso. For years, he mispronounced espresso as espresso. She corrected him every single time. He never changed. One day at a cafe, he proudly ordered espresso in front of everyone. She rolled her eyes so hard, she rolled straight into divorce. 47. Self-help overload. The wife became obsessed with self-improvement seminars. Every weekend was another Unleash Your Inner Power event. Her husband got tired of being told to manifest positivity. Eventually he said, "The only thing I want to manifest is a divorce lawyer." 48. Bedside lamp battles. He liked reading late into the night. She wanted pitch black silence. Every evening turned into negotiations about the lamp. Finally, she screamed, "It's either the lamp or me!" He chose the lamp. Divorce followed. 49. Culinary catastrophe. One spouse was such a terrible cook that dinner was a nightly gamble between burnt and raw. The other finally said, "I'd rather eat alone than die from food poisoning." Divorce became the recipe for survival. 50. Garbage mountain. He never took out the trash. Bags piled up until the house smelled like a landfill. His wife finally said, "If I wanted to live in garbage, I'd move to the dump." She moved out instead. 51. Emoji overload. This husband texted only in emojis. Entire conversations were just... At first, it was quirky. Eventually, it was maddening. She finally said, "I need words, not hieroglyphics." Divorce was the translation. 52. Random Broadway performances. The wife loved musicals, so much that she sang every conversation. Ordering food, paying bills, even arguments. At first, it was funny, but after years of living in a non-stop Broadway show, her husband had enough. 53. Creepy doll collector. This husband collected porcelain dolls. Hundreds of them. He displayed them in the bedroom. Their glassy stares haunted his wife at night. She begged him to get rid of them. He refused. One morning, she woke up, looked into 200 staring doll eyes, and decided divorce was her only escape. 54. Diet betrayal. They promised to diet together. But while the husband stuck to salads, the wife secretly ordered McDonald's delivery every night. He found the receipts. Betrayal wasn't just emotional, it was greasy. Divorce was served. 55. Monopoly meltdown. Board games are meant to bring people together. Not here. During a Monopoly game, one spouse accused the other of cheating. The fight escalated to screaming, flipping the board, and refusing to speak for days. That game ended in divorce, proving Monopoly truly ruins lives. 56. Dessert drama. Every time there was dessert, the husband took the last piece without asking. After years of cake theft, his wife snapped, "You don't respect me or my dessert." She divorced him and probably got all the cake in the settlement. 57. Friend wars. She hated his friends. He hated hers. Every outing was torture. Instead of socializing, they criticized each other's choices. Eventually, they realized they'd rather be single with their own friends than married and miserable. 58. Closet wars. They bought a house with one giant walk-in closet. Both wanted it. Neither would compromise. They fought over hangers, shelves, and space. The closet battle grew so bitter, they ended up living separately. Each got their own closet and their own life. 59. The Snuggle Bear problem. This husband had a pet name for his wife, Snuggle Bear. She hated it, begged him to stop. He refused, saying, "It's cute." Years later, she said, "If you call me Snuggle Bear one more time, I'm divorcing you." He laughed and did it anyway. That laugh cost him his marriage. 60. Karaoke addiction. This husband sang karaoke 5 nights a week. Badly. His wife begged him to spend time at home. He refused, saying, "The mic needs me." She replied, "Then marry the mic." Divorce papers dropped faster than his mic. 61. Dishwasher disaster. The ultimate dumb reason, how to load the dishwasher. He stacked dishes randomly. She rearranged them obsessively. Every night was a battle over forks and plates. After years of dishwasher drama, they realized they weren't fighting about dishes, they were fighting about everything. And just like that, the marriage was washed away. Which one shocked you the most? Would you divorce someone over pineapple pizza or emoji texting? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I'd love to hear them. And if you enjoyed this marathon of madness, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it with a friend. Who knows, you might just save someone from a dishwasher divorce. Until next time, stay happy, stay sane, and remember, compromise is cheaper than divorce lawyers.